8 mysteries, 8 unsolved disappearances. In New Orleans, 911 operators fielded decades of desperate calls about a woman leaping from a hotel roof until disbelief cost a real life in 2006. During World War II, a Navy patrol blimp took off with 2 men aboard, then drifted home empty. The controls untouched, the crew never found. On the edge of a Canadian lake, an entire Inuit village vanished overnight. Fires still burning and meals left half made. Each story in this investigation confounds the experts, upending everything we think we know about evidence, witness accounts, and the boundary between folklore and hard fact. What connects these unexplained events, and can any of them truly be solved? Night after night, 911 dispatchers in New Orleans fielded urgent calls from guests and staff at the Omni Royal Orleans. The report was always the same: a woman in old-fashioned clothes seen plunging from the rooftop bar. Officers would arrive to nothing but empty pavement, the only trace a lingering sense of impact. Some guests swore they heard the thud. Others described the way her dress fluttered as she fell. Over time, the calls kept coming, but help stopped arriving. In October 2006, Zachary Bowen jumped from that very rooftop. No ambulance was sent. Afterward, police were ordered to respond to every call, whether ghost or not. For one night, disbelief proved deadly. August 16th, 1942. At 6:03 a.m, Navy blimp L-8 lifts off from Treasure Island, San Francisco. Lieutenant Ernest DeWitt Cody and Ensign Charles Adams are on board, assigned to scan the coast for enemy submarines. By 7:38, Cody radios in. He's investigating an oil slick near the Farallon Islands. Witnesses on fishing boats watch the blimp descend to just above the waves, dropping smoke flares. Then, silence. Hours later, L-8 drifts inland, engines humming, depth charges still attached. It crashes gently into Daly City. The cockpit is empty, parachutes and life raft untouched. No trace of the crew is ever found. November 1930, northern Canada. A trapper named Joe LaBelle arrives at Lake Anjakuni and finds the Inuit village silent. Campfires still burn, meals sit half-eaten, but every home is empty. Sled dogs lie dead, starved and still tethered to their posts. Even the graves on the edge of the settlement appear disturbed, some said to be emptied. LaBelle alerts the nearest RCMP outpost. Officers search the area, but no bodies, no tracks, no signs of struggle turn up. Newspaper clippings and RCMP files record only confusion. Decades later, the story remains. A whole community vanished, leaving only questions behind. Nova Scotia, 1878. Esther Cox, age 18, collapses in violent convulsions inside her family's farmhouse. Soon the walls begin to rap and scratch as if by unseen hands. Heavy furniture slides across the floor without warning. Neighbours crowd the yard, drawn by the clamour, and watch as objects fly through the air and fires spring up in empty rooms. Even the town magistrate files a formal report, unable to explain what he's witnessed. Local newspapers print every detail: the screams, the scorch marks, the panic that spreads from the Cox home to the whole community. No trick or illness is ever proven. For months, the house refuses to rest. In the summer of 1971, the Pereira family of Belmez, Spain, notice a strange stain forming on their kitchen floor. Within days, the stain sharpens into the outline of a human face, eyes, nose, a mouth twisted in silent agony. Neighbours gather. Word spreads. Photographs capture the shifting features, sometimes clear, sometimes blurred, but always unsettling. The family tries everything. They dig up the floor twice and pour new concrete. Each time, new faces appear, some familiar, others grotesque. Chemical tests on the cement yield no explanation. Experts and skeptics visit, but the faces keep returning, staring up from the stone. In 1974, Boston Township, Ohio, received an official evacuation order. Homes emptied, churches locked, and entire neighbourhoods boarded shut. Federal records show the land was seized for a new national park, but the ghost town that followed bred suspicion. Dead-end signs and barricaded roads fueled rumours of government secrets. Guides began spinning tales of mutant snakes, cult rituals, and a haunted school bus left to rot. Urban explorers mapped out forbidden trails, searching for proof. Official documents mention only a routine buyout and slow-moving park plans. Yet in the abandoned streets, folklore found fertile ground, turning bureaucracy into modern legend. In the 1980s, Britain, fire crews arrive at burning homes again and again. Amid the wreckage, one thing survives: a cheap print of a boy with tears on his cheek. The Crying Boy painting turns up untouched in more than 50 house fires across the UK. Insurance investigators and firefighters start to notice the pattern. Families lose everything, but the picture remains, its colours unscorched. Tabloid headlines call it cursed. Firefighters admit they're spooked, some refusing to hang the print in their own homes. Experts suggest a simple answer: the varnish might be fire retardant. But for those who watch their lives burn, the painting's survival feels like a warning. February 2013, downtown Los Angeles. Eliza Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student, checks into the Cecil Hotel. 2 weeks later, after missing a scheduled checkout, she is reported missing. The search begins quietly, but erupts into public obsession when hotel surveillance footage surfaces. In the video, Lam stands in an elevator, pressing buttons in a frantic sequence. She steps in and out, gesturing at something, or someone, outside the doors. Her movements are erratic, almost choreographed, her face shifting between fear and confusion. The elevator never leaves the floor. For days, police and hotel staff comb the building. The roof is supposed to be locked, alarmed against trespassers. Yet on February 19th, a maintenance worker investigating complaints about water pressure discovers Lam's body inside one of 4 rooftop water tanks. The hatch is open. Her clothes and hotel key are in the tank. Decomposition has begun. Guests had been drinking and bathing in the water for weeks. The coroner rules the death an accidental drowning. Lam's prescribed medication, intended for bipolar disorder, is present but at low levels, suggesting missed doses. There are no signs of trauma, no evidence of assault, and no alcohol or illegal drugs in her system. Official reports cite her mental illness as a significant factor. Still, questions remain. The roof door alarm was said to be in working order, but no one recalls it sounding. The only other way up is a fire escape, exposed to the street below. The tank lid, heavy and awkward, was found open, but some staff insist it would have been impossible to close from the inside. In 2015, a lawsuit filed by Lamb's family is dismissed. The court finds the hotel could not have foreseen or prevented her access to the tanks. Online, theories multiply: foul play, the so-called elevator game, even supernatural forces. But police and forensic experts point to a tragic accident, shaped by untreated mental illness and a building with too many blind corners. The facts are cold and incomplete. Lamb's final movements, captured on grainy CCTV, remain a haunting riddle. The Cecil's doors have since been locked and alarmed, but the mystery lingers, caught between accident and nightmare, still echoing on the internet years later. Over 50 separate 911 calls about a phantom jumper at the Omni Royal Orleans were logged before a real tragedy forced a change in emergency response policy. Navy logs confirm the L-8 blimp returned pilotless in 1942, with its crew never found. The Lake Anjikuni disappearance remains officially acknowledged but unresolved in RCMP summaries. Across these cases, contemporaneous documents, eyewitness records, and official files all point to a core truth. Even with decades of investigation, some events defy explanation. The Great Amherst haunting, the Belmez faces, and the Helltown buyout are each preserved in court records, photographs, and government archives, yet their causes remain debated. In recent decades, fire brigade reports documented the Crying Boy painting's strange survival, and CCTV footage from the Cecil Hotel raised new questions about the Elisa Lam case. Despite exhaustive evidence, the documentary record is filled with unanswered questions. These mysteries remain open, reminding us that not every file in the archive comes with a solution.